Good morning, everyone. I'm going to get started. If you don't know me already, my name is Chris Smith. I've been with ITS for going on 20 years. I've gotten to meet a bunch of you over the last 8 months, so welcome to this demonstration. We're going to go over the Office 365 migration from Cruiser. We're just going to show you what's going to happen the weekend of, what to expect on June 5th. And then that Roy will get your questions. We'll ask you for any questions that you may have. And then we're going to roll into some of the basics you should know about Office 365/email. You know it as either or, but we might eventually not migrate, but start talking Office 365 because that is the main platform. So with that, I'll get started. Just to go over a few things, let me start this. These are basics. These are the people we had on the project team. We put a team together because we know this going to Office 365, it's very important to this university getting to a single email solution, and that's our goal in all this. We hope this will provide better communication within the university. Please excuse the title of this. So as you know, Cruiser is going to stay the same. As you log in the Campus Cruiser, the only thing changing in this whole migration is the email. So your classes, the offices, what you're familiar with, the web advisor, getting to your W-2s, those type of things, all that stays the same. You're still going to log into Campus Cruiser. And I will show a demo, but the only thing changing is when you click on your email. And we'll demonstrate that in a little bit. There's no Cruiser downtime during the June 2nd to June 5th timeframe. So email's still going to come in. You're still going to be able to log into Campus Cruiser. You may, depending on like the latter day of Sunday, email may start flowing into your new account. However, you're not going to lose any email in this process. Don't worry about any of that. Part of the migration, we're migrating users that do not forward their primary Campus Cruiser email account. They use Campus Cruiser primarily for their account. We'll be migrating 2,000 messages per folder. We wish we could have done more, but it is a limitation of Campus Cruiser and their mail system to be able to migrate more than that. If you need, after the migration period happens, if you want more and you want everything migrated over, you can easily open up a ticket with the help desk, and the help desk will come over and migrate the rest of your email, your contacts, and those types of things. I just went over the staff option. So the new login change, you're familiar with it. You may be familiar with it now. If you're not using Woomail, if you use Zoom, if you use lynda.com, you'll see the new login is going to change. So when you log into Campus Cruiser, you're going to see a new experience. Just the login piece. Your password doesn't change. So you'll log in, and once you log in, you'll see the normal Campus Cruiser as you know it today. Mail.widener.edu, your account is going to last. That mail.widener.edu email account is going to last at least till May of 2018. So there's some recommendations. We're going to send out recommendations to you of what you can do to notify your other contacts and things like that, to let them know that the account will no longer exist given a period of time. But at the very least, it will be around at least till May of 2018. Some of the recommendations I mentioned that we'll be sharing with you, we'll be sending an email out to you. It may come from the help desk, it may come from myself, but it'll be recommendations of just a checklist for you to remember to put an auto reply on in your Campus Cruiser account, to archive your account, pointers and links to lynda.com for instruction, like you say you want to merge something within your campus, go into lynda.com and type in that search criteria, what you're trying to learn, it'll point you to that information. And as we go through all the fall and the spring semester, we'll be sending recommendations to you of things that, you know, if you haven't done so already, please go ahead and do so. Question?
Is it possible to be made available to us, or should we be made?
This year? Yes, absolutely. You don't have to take any notes. We'll supply everything to you.
Great.
Not a problem. And this isn't, after this, we're really going to get into the demo of things. This PowerPoint's very short, and then I'll have a. Oh, okay, great. And 3 great links. You have a card on your table. We just wanted to share that with you. 3 great links that we think you should know about if you don't already. itsnews.widener.edu is a new blog site that we've spun up a few months ago. And that's where we are starting to share everything that ITS is doing, any of the projects we're doing, any notifications, whether it's security notifications or things to be aware of that we may be planning or working on, or any tidbits regarding any of the products that we're offering and that we support. So you may see some things about Office 365. Hey, did you know this? And this is a good idea. And hey, you can download your Office for free. You get 5 licenses for the Office suite for free for your home use and things like that. So we'll be doing this. Lynda.com, as I mentioned, it's to be used for anyone in the university. It could be used if you haven't logged in already. It's basically technology training. Well, it's not hand. It's all canned reports and things like canned training. But it's very helpful, and it's helpful for the students. You might be able to use this, and I think you will be able to use this in some of your teaching and things like that, and taking advantage with students and things like that. So I do recommend going there. Quickticket.widener.edu. We made that just recently. We opened that up. That's where if you want to open up a ticket with the help desk, go into quickticket.widener.edu. Is a real quick, simple, I have a problem. This isn't just for this Office 365, but for anything. Sending it to us, it goes into our ticket system right away, and we have record that you opened up a ticket. You should also get a follow-up email once you open that ticket. And with that, any questions regarding the migration that you may have? Yes.
So the 2,000 emails, that's those current back, right? I'm assuming that no one's the first time.
No, it's going to be the most recent 2,000. Is that what you meant?
Yeah.
And for those that have all 40,000 messages, and there's a few that have 40,000 messages in their inbox. That's where we would recommend you open up a ticket, asking the help desk to come over and migrating your data over. But we wanted to make sure you had the most recent email. Going back that far, I'm not sure. 2,000 messages. Does that go back 6 months?
I was talking about like folders you said.
Folders also.
In a folder, it's only going to take the most recent
2,000, yes. So say you have 40 folders, and if you have 2,000 messages in each folder, all those folders and all those messages are going to come over. Question in the back?
Yeah, 2,000, 11 true for your box as well.
Yes. Yes. Any other questions? What I'm going to do now is I'm going to demonstrate what you'll see. I set up an account, things like that. What you'll see come June 5th. You might see it as early as June 4th, Sunday, as we're doing the migration and bringing things live. But I want you to be aware of it so you're not like, oh, is this a spam or is this a fish or is there something like this? So I'm going to go do that now. This is a test environment, so you don't have to record where I'm going. But when you come in, you're going to go to Campus Cruiser, and the normal way you do it. But I'm going to a test site at this point right now. Am I already on the Widener website? Yes, I am. So this is it's not the Cruiser website now, but this would be the Cruiser website. When you log in, you're going to go to what you're familiar with. This is a test site, so the login page has Old Main in the production environment. So you're going to log in with your credentials that you know it today. Don't like it, spell my password right. Do I have a period? Oh, I'm using my production password. That's my problem. That's just that's a browser setting. That's not something. So it's going to take you, once you log in, it's going to take you into your Campus Cruiser as you know it today. You see, of course, your offices, your committees, everything's going to be populated as you know it. So the one difference is when you come up to your email account, and you click on email, it's going to automatically sign you into Office 365. The email that's migrated will show up here under Cruiser Migration. You'll see your inbox. And let me minimize this, but your new email will start flowing into this inbox under your name. Your Cruiser Migration box will be where all the 2,000 messages and every folder flows into. At any time, once that's done, you can easily move this by right-clicking and moving the folder wherever you choose to move it. So you can move it back into under your name. You can leave it there. But any new mail flowing in is going to show up in this inbox. So let me go back to, or do you have any questions regarding this? Go ahead. They're going to get, as on the weekend of June 4th, June 5th, they're going to see this login. Yes. Well, the thing is, we've been communicating, as we've been communicating with you, we've been communicating with students, sharing the blog with them. We've also had a student, that's one of the reasons we had a student member on our work group, so she can go out and get the information and share it with the student. Graduates got it too, but we didn't have a graduate. Actually, we had a graduate, not on a work group, but that works with ITS, that we ran everything through. She works with Joanne Keating. That would be helpful, and we can give you some information to share with them. Okay. And if there's anyone else that needs that, what would be the best way to? I could send something out I could put something on the blog, or I could send it out to all faculty, or is that something that would be would that be on the blog? Okay. And they could visit, I could give you the link, the direct link of where to go for the blog. All right.
Email your class from the workstation or from the class.
Mm-hmm.
How is that?
It's going to go to their new email account. So you'll go into the class and you'll send an email. It'll show up in the new Office 365 email inbox. Just so you know, everything is auto forward. Any mail, the question wasn't asked, but any mail that's coming to those accounts are going to automatically be forwarded to your Office 365 account. So any mail coming in, and that goes for students also. Any other questions? So one of the things we did, because of the 2,000 messages, we couldn't bring over everything, and we were concerned about that. say if there was something you were looking for, you couldn't find it in your email system right away. What we did is we asked Campus Cruiser if they could create an archive link for everyone to get to. And so where you're going to find it is under the My Cruiser, and you're going to scroll down. You'll see Archive Cruiser email. This basically is taking you into, it's supposed to take you into. And I don't, do I have it up already? I may have it up already. Sorry, I'm. Is that what it is? Yeah, I know. I can't. This screen is very hard to see here. Do you see it? Do you see what I'm? That's not it, is it? No. That's it there, right? Yes. I'm sorry about that, and thank you. So that Archive Cruiser email, that's going to have all your email. That we're not moving any email, just so you know, we're copying it. So every one of your emails is going to be in this location here. All your folders, everything is going to be situated here. So if you were looking for something at 2001 to 2005, or any emails that you're not able to find, you will be able to come back into this area here and be able to get that email. You could also forward it out if you need to, until you get someone from the help desk to come over and migrate all of your email. This won't be around. This will be around at least until May. This is what my understanding is. Some of the things we're going to ask you to do, and we're going to send in that checklist, we're going to ask you to just create an archive. And with the archive, I can run through it real quick. Archive, this is a read-only archive. This is just I'm a person that I like to back up and have double and triple backups of everything. So it's just a matter of anything I'm doing here, you can get documentation for it from the help desk. You can call the help desk and they can walk you through here. So this isn't something, if you don't know it today, you can call up and say, how do I archive? And we're going to have documentation for you. We're also going to provide documentation on the blog. What this does is the main important thing about when you're archiving is going back as far as you think you need email. And if I were to go back, I would go back to 2004. If I, choosing the day. I wish this screen was bigger. Today. And once you select, the main thing is moving everything over in the selected folders, hitting submit. Once you hit submit, you're going to see that your zip file and was submitted to Campus Cruiser. If you come back here a little bit later, you'll eventually see where it says process successfully. See this one down here. And at that point, you click on it and you want to download it to your computer, you'll have all your email wrapped up in a zip file as a backup.
Should we do that now?
You could do it now. You could do this now in the production environment. It's one of the recommendations we're going to send out as a checklist. Now remember, it doesn't have to be done by June 5th. It has to be done before May, let's say May of 2018. I would recommend. I would recommend sooner, and I don't want to say when we eventually move off of Campus Cruiser, but it's something to get a backup. I do recommend it. And with that, do you have any questions? Because what I'm going to do is turn it over to my colleague, Bob Smith. I'm sure you know him. He's going to walk through Office 365, some of the basics. Scott?
One other question I have is, after the students and everybody migrates,
Mm-hmm.
if I go into my class, I go to email my class,
Yes.
how that's going to work?
When you go to email, it just as it is today. You would go in and email your class. It's not going to throw you over to Office 365. It's all going to be within the Campus Cruiser environment as you know it today.
Okay.
And when you send the email out, it's just going to go to the student's new inbox.
Okay.
Any other questions? Should you have any questions, you can open up a quick ticket on that link. You can contact me, Chris Smith. My email is, it's very easy, csmith@widener.edu. I will get back to you, and sometimes in the evenings. So, but I will get back to you. If you see anyone around the room, I have some IT members of the project team in the back. After we go through this, if you have any questions regarding your account, please feel free to ask them any questions. If you want to do something now as we go through this demo here, if you have any questions, they'll be happy to help you. All right. Do you want me to close this now? Thank you. You got it? Okay.
Good morning. First, some of the things I want to go through is Woomail. I'm just looking at the first Woomail. How's that? One of the things we want to cover first is conversation mode. Okay, conversation mode is, it groups all your emails into a particular conversation in one email. For example, if I emailed Chris and we had the group conversation mode on, what it does is it just groups all the emails that we go back and forth, keeps it in one group. It looks like one email in your inbox. That's great for organizing emails. It's great for organizing conversations that go back and forth. What it's not good for is searching. If you're one who loves to search your emails for certain things, conversation mode you'll only find, as some of you may know, will only find the most recent email. So if you like to search, I would recommend turning conversation mode off. And let me show you how. So basically, click up here, you're gonna click on filter, you're gonna go down to show as, and as you can see, I have messages on now. Default is to have conversations on. So if you haven't changed this, this is something you would want to do. Also, if you have any subfolders in your inbox, they all default as conversation. So if you have, hopefully you do this early in the process, and then you can start changing the folders that you create. Any questions?
In order to search, we can't. It won't retain threaded conversation.
If you have conversation mode on, and say Chris and I have about 10 emails going back and forth with each other, and then like the 4th email, I mentioned Tom Gelato. And then I go do a search after all 10, we've emailed back and forth again. It won't find Tom Gelato's. It won't find an email because it's only going to show the most recent email in that conversation.
So in order to search, I have to I can't ever have any threaded emails.
If you use the search function, yes, like I leave it on messages so that it can find it will search through every email in the conversation.
Let me.
Sorry?
Can I add something? Is it from the Outlook desktop client? If you use that, you can search. Credit.
Mm-hmm.
However, so what we're speaking about here, I'm sorry, what we're speaking is the web interface. There are some limitations to the web interface, but if you can search. There's so many advanced features in the search. So if you do use the LFS.com, you'd be able to search conversation mode.
Okay, and you also can search on your phone, either if it's Reddit, in conversation.
I think the phone's a different animal. I think it may find it. I think the phone is evolving so much and there's so many updates, but I do believe it does work.
Okay, thank you.
The other thing too is we did try to switch conversation mode as the non-default, make messages the default and unfortunately they don't give us that option.
Okay, as I mentioned, the search function is a great tool for hunting down emails. One thing to note is that searching in Woomail will find up to 250 results, as opposed to using the Outlook desktop app, which will find all of them. So if I search for Chris Smith, it's only going to find the most recent 250 results in Woomail.
Question?
How do you do the search?
No problem. You click at the very top, right next to the magnifying glass right here.
Oh, I got it.
Okay. Okay, and then also in here, you can also choose if you want to, because you're only limited to 250 results, you can then say, oh, I want to just look at my inbox, or I just want to look in a certain folder. Okay. Okay, another thing I wanted to talk to you about is clutter. Clutter is a great tool that automatically grabs the email that you don't want to keep, but puts it in another mailbox. If I want to move this email or any email, you want to move it to clutter, you basically just right click on it and move to clutter. Now, as some people may have seen, you may want to move items out of clutter. The point of clutter was basically it sees emails that it doesn't think that you think is important and would just put into this clutter folder. From what I've seen, it would sometimes take emails that you may just kind of looked over, you saw the subject, and you didn't actually open the email.
So if you put something in the clutter, those emails are clutter, otherwise they'll just go trash.
Yeah, it's yes, and at the same point, if you go into your clutter folder and right click on it and move the inbox, it'll learn that this is no longer clutter. Don't put it in here anymore, and it'll just put it right into your inbox.
So what is the difference between clutter and junk email?
Junk is more spam related. It's not something that, I mean, if you basically ignore emails, if it sees like it's a colleague from Widener, it's not going to go into the clutter at all. I mean, do you have anything else to add to that? Junk?
Junk is typically mail that you do not want. And clutter is mail that you want to eventually get to or read. However, it learns your reading pattern, and that's what clutter is about. It's viewing each individual's reading pattern within their inbox. So if you chose to ignore, that's all for Widener, because everyone in the Widener.edu, we have a filter that says don't go to clutter. But if you were to ignore an external colleague email for 10 days, you might eventually see that colleague's email show up in clutter, because it's just trying to filter through the important emails. It's Microsoft's attempt at trying to help you work. You can turn clutter off. That's the thing.
Well, yeah. Because this is another one of those things where Microsoft knows it's smarter than I am.
Yeah. Yeah, like you can turn.
Let me, I'll show you right now how to turn off clutter altogether.
And let me add, like Bob's doing that, one of the things that, can everyone hear me, by the way? One of the things that Microsoft's doing is they realized clutter wasn't a good idea. So they are moving away from it, but the time frame that you come into this environment, that if you have a business environment, it's going to be there, and that's why we're sharing that. They are moving to something called, if you have Outlook on your mobile device, then you'll see an inbox and a focused inbox. I don't know any of you that have an Android. If you have an iPhone and you're using the native app, you won't see this, but if you use the Outlook app, you'll start seeing an inbox and you'll see focus. And it's something new that Microsoft's doing. They do change things, and they're going to try to get things out in front of you ahead of time before this stuff happens. Hopefully we can turn things off before it does get to you, so we can then get the information out to you before we actually turn it back on. So Microsoft is this is a challenging environment because they are trying to improve their environment. They give us a short window of when they're going to do things, and so what we're going to do the best we can is turn the things off so it doesn't confuse anyone, or add something new where you're going to use email or something like that. So we're going to do our best to do that. You may have noticed some things in the app launcher where they appeared one day and the next day they were turned off. We weren't notified. We quickly went in and we had the right program to remove it so it didn't cause any confusion. So, any questions regarding that? Question in the back?
Okay, so just to be sure, so I have my students put the title and like so 288 in the title subject line. When I went into clutter, all my students' emails are in the clutter. So if I click on the one where it says social and then I say move to inbox, it'll learn how to put the clutter.
It'll learn. However, it's twofold. I turn my clutter off.
So how do we just turn the clutter off?
I'm going to show you.
Is that a most recent email, by the way?
Yeah.
It is a recent.
I mean, I used to have 2 or 3 emails, but these are from the whole semester, but they're up to May 12th.
May 12th. Okay. Well, I'm going to take a note of that, Tom, if you can. Well, look, one of the things that we've tried, 2 different mail environments, but we tried to make sure that even mail.wired.edu did not go to clutter. So we'll look into that, but that wasn't supposed to happen. We did put filters in. So, any other questions? Yes, how do you move up to hours of clutter? Can you show?
What? Okay. All right, I'll show you how to move out of clutter. Okay, so you would just simply go into your clutter folder, right click, and move the inbox. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, and after maybe like a minute or 2, it'll pop up in your inbox.
So that's for specific email by email.
Yes. I'm done. So what you would do is you want to click on the big gear icon, the bottom right, the settings. Yep. You're gonna type in clutter, and clutter comes up. Click clutter. Sure. Okay.
Turn off separate items.
You're going to uncheck separate items identified as clutter. and then go up and click save. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I'll start from.
The most important part of this is make sure you hit save. After I check it. That's the only thing.
Okay.
So I did that. How do I move the stuff that's currently in Flutter into my inbox?
You can check the boxes next to the emails. You can select one and you can hold down shift. Or you want to move all of them. Something like that, you just reach out to the help desk and we'll help you out with that. But basically, you can select the whole.
Since you have that many, if you want to all move, you have that many.
So anyone else have any questions? Okay. Okay, I'm going to move down to the calendar. Okay, when creating an appointment, all you need to do is go up here, click new. Sorry about that. So by clicking new in the calendar, when you're viewing the calendar, you'll see this. Here now, I can then choose the time that I want the meeting to be. So say I choose 11 o'clock, and then I can come over here and then add people. Oops. And what it'll do is every time I add somebody new, it'll show me the status of them as far as their calendar is concerned at that time that I set the appointment. Okay. What I can also do, another option, is the scheduling assistant. I'm sorry. I'm in calendar. If you click on up here, the apps launcher. That's the little.
Yeah, oh, there. So you gotta go through the app launcher to get here.
Yes.
And then click on calendar, and yeah, I can get
Okay. Are you at your calendar now? Okay. So at the very top, you should be able to click new.
Excuse me, the app launcher that you see Bob having doesn't necessarily have to match what you see. It's all customized by how you want things to be set up. So your app launcher up here, you can move tiles if you want. You can add tiles to your home screen. You can remove tiles from your home screen. So the fact that if you see, it's what you see, what Bob has up there in his home screen is because he chose to add all of his home screen. So if that is confusing at all, it doesn't look the same as what you see. Don't worry, we can come over and we can help you arrange your tiles how you want and show you how to do that.
Was everyone able to get here? Awesome. Okay, so what I was previewing is that if you choose, you can choose the time. You choose the time of the appointment here. You can choose the date. So once you choose the time and date, you can then assign people to this appointment. And here's another way you can do it is, I'm trying to get rid of those. By going into the scheduling assistant, which is at the top right. So I clicked on the top right, scheduling assistant. Now, let me go back. Okay. So as I add names to the appointment of attendees, on the right, I can see if they're busy or not. I can see their schedule based on their calendar. Sorry? Clicking new starts a new appointment. Yep. Let me go back again. Okay, so I'm back on my calendar. Okay. See new? Okay. So now we're looking at a blank appointment where we can add the times, we can add details, location. But a great tip to do is if you do the times first, you can then add names into the scheduling assistant or over on the right, and it'll basically show you if those people are available for your meeting. Absolutely. Sure. You would have to sign into Woomail. And then once you sign in Woomail, oops. You can set, I'm sorry, yes, you can set up appointments in Outlook. Yes. There might be, yeah, that's something to put a ticket in. We can talk about that. I'm suggesting just to reach out to a help desk, yeah, because sometimes it's a bit, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Yes.
There's a lot of background.
Log out the calendars so that people who try to request a meeting with you understand that you don't use this function and they can't make a meeting with you this way.
Yes.
I'm serious, like send me an email, don't use this for me.
You can set yours to do not disturb if you want to set a certain amount of time in your calendar so that everyone else will see that.
Is do not like, can I say do not disturb till like 2020? Every week, be like, still do not disturb me, send me an email. I'm serious,
I-
they're going to do that.
I can look into that.
Okay.
Yes, Scott. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Sure. That's what she just asked. There's Sometimes there's ways to do it. I would suggest submitting a help desk ticket, and we can work with you individually to see if we can figure out how to get your Google Calendar into this calendar. Yes, I'm pretty sure it's just one way. Any other questions? Yeah. Not absolutely sure. Can this replace Doodle? Yes, it does replace Doodle. Okay. Yes. Thank you. Does this basically replace Doodle? Yes. It does. Oh yes, absolutely. I can show you how to, I mean, like you said, I can individually show you how to set up this on your iPhone. Yeah. Yeah. There's documentation up in Cruiser right now that you can do it, but we're welcome to help you. Yes.
Also, if you use the Outlook app on like your computer, then as you set it up, you set it up on your phone at the same time. So when you set it up on your computer, you set it up. When you turn on Outlook on your computer now, that should be in your phone at all.
If you have, what he's saying is if you have the Outlook app, right? Yes.
You can do all of this through mail or calendar on your iPhone. All of this just looks a little bit. It's all plugged in as long as you connected your account.
Yes, Sean.
What's your long
RM Smith 2. Okay, what I want to do now is I want to show you how to share your calendar. Okay. So if you're using your calendar and you want the rest of your department to see your calendar, as you can see on mine, I have a bunch of extra calendars at the bottom. What you're going to do is you're going to go up at the top of your calendar, and it's called Share. You're going to click on Share, and you're going to choose Calendar. When it says Calendar, that's your default calendar. Is anyone not seeing this? Good.
It just goes directly to share calendar.
Is yours not showing Share this calendar at the top?
There's a share thing, but I think that one it just goes to calendar. This is that calendar. So I just sort of put my cursor over it. There's nothing showing up on it.
Okay. So,
We only have one thing on it. My organization. Yep.
okay. Jim.
You want to see what we have to look at?
Oh, yeah, let me show you real quick. What you're seeing on mine is underneath it are all names I've already shared with. So if you haven't shared your calendar yet, it's not going to you're not going to see any names. Okay. So what I would do is just type in someone's name. And okay, so you type in the person's name that you want to share your calendar with. They'll come up, you click on them, so now you can see their icon, you see their name. And then over on the right, you're going to see your options for sharing that calendar. The default is to view all details. But if you want to share your calendar with someone who you want them to be able to edit the calendar, you would choose Can Edit, and a lot of people do that. They share their calendars because they wanted to, change it. But if not, do you just want to share all details? The default settings suffice. And as you can see, there's many options. Yes. Yes. Yep. And then anybody can go in and put in whether they're on vacation. Sure. Yes.
It could be really helpful. I just test calendar sharing with you.
Thank you.
If you go to your email, everybody can see what it will look like. So I said I want to meet with Bob today at 4 o'clock, and he gets an email. I'll meet you somewhere.
There we go. I'm still in my clutter. Yep.
So if you click on that,
Okay. Overall.
you can either accept it or decline it.
Yep.
If you accept it, it goes into your calendar. I just accepted it. And it's all set. You're done.
And there it is at the bottom. I'm sorry. Okay. Yes. Yeah, reach out to the help desk, submit a ticket, and we'll look at your Google Calendar and we'll see what options are available. Yep. Last thing I want to go over is how to view calendars, and that is basically you can go up here and click. Obviously, you can go in the day, you can click on work week. But what you can also do is go down, and if I want to see Perry's calendar, then I'm looking at both calendars at the same time. And it's color coordinated by looking at the name right here. Perry shared his calendar with me. So once they share a calendar with you, they'll come down here under other calendars. And once you do that, it also will show up in Outlook as well, if you have Outlook running. Yes. I think charms only show up on your calendar alone. Yes, that's serious. A charm is just something Microsoft started doing new. If I choose a charm, it's just an icon that shows up in your calendar alone. That's all. There's no. Yes. It's just something small that will show up in your calendar alone. And they're very tiny, yes. Okay, do we have any more questions about the calendar? Very good. Okay, next real quick, we'll go to people or your contacts. Contacts are self-explanatory for the most part, but what I'd like to show you is how to make a list.
We did got a new.
I'll show you again. Yep. I clicked on the people. I went up to the apps launcher, chose people. And there's a little caret to the right of new. There's a drop down. So I chose contact list. And then you can give a name to this list. And then start adding members simply by just typing in their names or their login IDs.
What is the difference between a list and a group?
A group is almost like an account. A group is something that we would set up for you if it comes with storage. It comes with more options than simply just a contact list.
So I can use a list if I wanted to send to the same set of 12 people.
Exactly. No, not at all. No, because lists, you can just keep creating lists and keep creating lists.
So for example, I usually email all the students in my department at once. I use a list for them, that if I'm working with the senior project group on a project, they use a group.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. I was gonna say the list is like a contact list.
Yes. Yep. Exactly. It's just like your contact list in Cruiser. You can set up a group, but I would reach out to the help desk and we can certainly help you set them up. I'm sorry, how do you edit oh. I'll show you how to edit a list.
Is there a limit to the size of the list?
I don't know. Five.
My recommendation is 500.
Yeah.
Hitting the limit, but I would really stay away. If you're getting up to 500, Microsoft, many mail files like this, not only always give out contact to that list, but the size of the email percentage get into a whole new area where I'll keep the 300 if I were you. I would rather, before creating a new list, adding a second list or a part B or something.
Okay, so I have, one of my lists is the ITS, the students, the ITS lab attendance. Okay, so I simply just choose the group, or the list. Went too far in. A group has more options. A group has storage that comes along. It has a OneDrive account that comes with it.
If I can, let me add, with groups, the question was, what's the difference between groups? Groups do have a ton of options, and we'll be coming out with more instruction with groups. Groups is evolving within the Microsoft environment. There's something called Teams coming out. We don't want to confuse you, so we're not really going to cover the details of groups today. But there are advantages of using the groups, and we would have, once we get the information from Microsoft here, how it should all work, we want to advise you the correct way to use the groups. Right now, I'm going to say, go ahead, as you know, there are many people that have already created groups. I shouldn't say as you know. There have been many groups created already. There are advantages of using groups. If you have a committee, things like that, you can share files within groups, keep everything contained within that group, keep it private. But it's definitely something that we're gonna talk about in the future. Like training session. We'll probably post something on our blog site about it, when to use it, things like that. So, if you have any other questions afterwards and want to talk more, I'll be happy to talk more about that with you. Sorry about that.
That's okay. We have the instructions, the documentation for how to edit a group, and for some reason it's not working with this laptop. Sorry. Is there any other questions about contacts or people? I know, I can't get it to work on this laptop. Yes. Well, importing the list is that's on the process, and that's basically.
We're going to be running up instructions on how
Mm-hmm.
to create this. So we're going to be providing instructions on how to do so. And then if you have any problems doing it, we're going to take the help desk.
Will it be possible to import what we have, our contact with Campus Cruiser into?
Yes, your individual contacts, but unfortunately, lists are a different animal, where no matter if you're on Gmail or Office 365 or any mail system, for some reason, you're not able to import lists. You have to almost recreate them, and it is. I find it to be a problem, just the fact that you can't do the Gmail, you can't do the Office 365. So we're going to put documentation together the best way to fix this that you may have created within Campus Cruiser. Now, that list, if you have a Campus Cruiser site on the way, it's going to be there. Contacts are going to be there. You'll be able to, that drop down that I showed you archive. Mail, you're going to be able to see your calendar and your contacts there. You're not going away. That's where you're going to have the ability to export and to Office 365 /. Sorry, I'm saying /move now. I'm trying to make sure we're talking about the same thing. Office 365 and move now is the same thing. Did I answer your question? Yes.
We import them from Excel, we put them in an Excel spreadsheet. I don't see it on there.
Yes. Are you talking about contacts or contacts?
Contacts are like what the distribution list.
There's a way you can reach out to help desk. We can help you. There's a way to convert an Excel spreadsheet to a format that you can import into your contacts. Okay, I'd like to talk about OneDrive now. I'm sorry, like I said, I can't get it to work, so I'll share it with you. Oops. Okay, so everyone has a OneDrive account in your Windmill account. It has a terabyte of space, so 1,000 gigs. I think most recently you can have a file, individual single file, up to 5 gig. That's relatively new. Used to be like 2. And as you can see, well, you can sort it, or you can actually view by tile view or by list view.
Those of you that haven't used it, of course, you're not going to see all the folders that has starting out.
Yes.
Similar to Dropbox, right? OneDrive?
Similar, yeah, same concept. So basically, when you log in your OneDrive, like I said, yeah, it'll pretty much be empty for you. To upload files into OneDrive, you're basically just going to click on the files or folder, and then navigate to wherever your files are. No, there'll be nothing on this computer. But basically, you just navigate to the folder of the files you want to upload into Boommail, and then upload the documents.
Looking for my files, I have like 4 of them.
Yeah.
But most of them say it's shared with the view. And there's one that says shared with everyone. Who is everyone?
It's everyone has that folder. It's a generic folder that basically says shared with everyone.
Everyone in the university. If you were everywhere, anyone in the university
Yep.
would be able to see that folder. It's not something that. And maybe something for maybe HR, maybe something like that in the future. But that we're bringing students into this environment too. We're all going to be in the same environment, so whatever we're putting their students will have access to that.
Is it possible to set up a folder with documents that you share with colleagues outside the university?
At the moment, someone's saying yes back here. Okay, well.
Recently. Yeah.
Microsoft changes things all the time for us, but I was going to say this is a closed environment. And at the moment, we want to get there. However, we'd like to have some governance around what is put in the shared environments. And our biggest concern is student records and things like that. So that's why I'm surprised by that. So I think also. So it could have been OneDrive personal, and that. So, but we will be looking at that if you have any questions. But we'd like to get some things around recommendations for what kind of data you're storing, because if you're able to share that outside, we're not going to know it. So that's where we have to have the ITS department some way to know what kind of data is being stored.
Yes.
But internal to the university students, anyone that has an account in this environment, you can share it to students, you can share it to faculty.
Oh, Chris. Sorry.
Once we upload a folder to OneDrive,
Mhm.
and then I alter the original on my computer, will it save the alterations, kind of like set it up so it like syncs?
It will not. If you upload a folder, it makes a copy of the folder.
Just a copy.
But what we can do is, again, submit a ticket to the help desk, and we can show you how to sync whatever you have up in your OneDrive down to your desktop.
Yeah.
Then, once you work on that section of your desktop, everything you change will sync up to your OneDrive, and vice versa. If you're traveling, you're working on your OneDrive, and you edit a file, it will also sync and update the file that's on your desktop. Yes.
Image-based files that I use for all my courses.
Mhm.
I use OneDrive in a way that I couldn't use Bruiser because it was too large. So I can now send that so students in my course can access.
Yes, I believe so.
Instead of going to Google or another system.
Right. Yes.
I have a personal OneDrive account because I use the content of the other institutions I need to share outside the university. And I somehow link the accounts or I download the OneDrive apps to my wider computer with my personal OneDrive. That's always it has the sharing table. So that I'm not giving everything to
You have multiple options. One would possibly be syncing down the OneDrive to your computer. We don't recommend that because OneDrive is a personal account. But there's always the option of syncing both accounts, and then you can manipulate and. No, you can't sync those two accounts. One's a personal, one's a work account.
Yeah, tomorrow's session, we'll go into more advanced topics on OneDrive, but we'll show some of the, like when you're collaborating. One of the big advantages is collaboration with OneDrive. So and it might answer some of your questions because you're able to, depending on how you connect to OneDrive, if you're connecting to your desktop client from that folder, then it is going to save. So we might answer some questions tomorrow.
Yeah, and I have both, like I have personal, but with this one, get a terabyte. Like my personal, I can fill out in like a couple weeks. So I just use it.
Yeah, personal's like 5 gig.
Yeah, personal.
This is 1,000.
To load stuff on that you want to share, and then, yeah, and use this as your primary.
Can somebody please explain to me what sync is?
Syncing is, you have your files on your desktop. So what Office 365 gives you the opportunity to do is you have files up on the cloud. So you can sync them to your computer so that, say you don't use the internet, you can access those files. It basically keeps them in 2 places. So if you modify the one, it automatically syncs and changes the one online so that it matches it. So at any given time, both groups of files are identical.
Why don't I just keep my files on the phone?
Because if you don't have internet, then you can't alter them at that time.
And you can, a lot of people do. But we're going to show you, again, we'll show you tomorrow how to bring them down so that, yeah, you can use them locally. If you don't have Wi-Fi where you are, it's a great tool.
Let me
Go ahead.
there's a big benefit to keeping that and we're going to show that tomorrow is versioning. So this file, this environment has versioning. So if someone touched the file or deleted the file, you'll be able to go back to the LLE or you'll be able to go back to 5 versions ago and see that written. So it's a very powerful tool. We're going to show that tomorrow.
Okay, so what I'm doing now is I clicked New at the top, and in the drop down, I chose Folder. So he's created a new folder. So what we suggest is if you're going to, you can create a folder in your OneDrive, and you can share it to 10, 20, 30 people. When sharing files, this is kind of what we recommend. Just create one folder that you're sharing out so you can manage all your shares in one place. And again, we'll go into more into it tomorrow, but if you have an Excel spreadsheet that you want a team of 10 people working on, it's just easier to, you can keep it into a folder called shared folders or the project I just called it email migration. I just created a folder, but what I'll show now is how to actually share a file with others. So you can see this is only shared with, it's only me. I'm not sharing with anyone. Okay. So as soon as I choose share, it finds Chris when I type in his login name. I type in a comment and I'm gonna hit share. So he's gonna get an email now with that subject I just typed in, basically to click on this link. What he's gonna do then he's going to click on share with me. So if I shared a file with all of you, you would get an email. And then when you clicked on it, it's going to send you to your shared with me file folder. So anything that's shared with you is in there. Okay? No, unless if you share that folder with him, yes. Any other questions?
And the person that you share with,
Mhm.
they do something to the file, and do they have to share it back to them? First person?
That we're going to talk about tomorrow. We'll also show you how you can share. You can actually share it so that's read only. You can share it. So there's other options in sharing files. Anyone else? Okay. Is there any questions about anything we covered today?
So if you share something and you want to unshare it,
Mm-hmm.
how do you do that?
It's hard to lose on this computer. Basically, you're going to click on the file, go to details, and again, we'll share this. Again, all this information we're going to share out to you in the blog. Details. So I right click on the file, or you can click on the 3 dots next to the name. I'll show it again. Yeah, it's cutting off of the screen, but on the right, you should go to change the.
I remember seeing share, that's a great thing, but I don't see it now. I think it's just share. You know, before I get to share on the top.
Mhm.
If you click on the actual file, like file, it's a chat file. The other is a chat file.
Were you able to find it? Okay. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much. And again, please attend tomorrow. We'll be going into more detail if you're interested on what else you can do. Yes, 9 to 11. Yeah.
So, if anyone has any questions, you can grab any one of the and say, we'll work with you.